Alright, what is going on, everyone? Crypto Mac here today, bringing you guys another crypto video. Today we're going to be discussing Chainlink, one of the coins I'm very bullish on. I've talked quite a bit on my channel about doing an update video every few days, it seems, every 2 or 3 days, maybe every 4 days. An update video on Link. It's currently trading at $28, which is quite low, actually. So just doing an update video, I'm going to talk about where this coin's going. Where it's currently sitting. I've got a bit to talk about actually, especially with like some support lines and where I think it's going to go moving forward. So I just want to point out, this is not financial advice. Please do your own research. So if we look at Chainlink straight away, we can see it's come down quite a bit. And we look at, it's trading at $28, this $28 level. And if we see where it was actually at $38. So if we take this to where it's at now, this is a 26% drop, which is actually quite significant in only 8 days, which is, as I said, it's pretty significant drop. 28% is pretty high, 26%. So we've seen a pretty decent correction for Chainlink, and so maybe it's almost time that we start to move back up, you might say. So if we look at it, we had this ascending triangle we were talking about, and we broke out of this. And we got support of the line and broke through. Came back down, got support 3 times. You can see here, if we zoom in, there was 3 support lines. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th we broke through. And then we were down. So we held solid for a little bit, but obviously Bitcoin took its big correction. Bitcoin is now at $59,000. And so most altcoins went with it, including Chainlink. And if we look at a price target here, we're almost there. If you take it for the breakout, so this line continued to hold its support till about here. So we're basically at this level. We need to go down like another $1 and we'd hit this level. But I'd say we'd pretty much hit this target from this breakout. The other thing is that it's obviously somewhat invalid because, you know, we're past the actual ascending triangle, and we did break out to the upside, so it's not as exactly valid as you'd like, but it's still something just to look at. I like to look at all variables and see if there's any confluence in the chart and what I think is all going to happen. The other thing is, so if we look at the bigger picture, we obviously have this big cup and handle, which we've been talking about for a while, and we came up, we got the breakthrough, and we did not hold as support, and so we came back down. But this is the big cup and handle we've been talking about, which has a price target at $57, and obviously the all-time here is at $53. So if we were to make this move, we would break through the all-time high and hit $57, which would be really good. Obviously we've come back down, so ideally we get back up and can continue our path on this cup and handle. But this kind of does alter that pathway. I'm losing confidence in the cup and handle, but still, I'm still very bullish on Chainlink. Another thing, there's a lot of confluence in the chart. So we just saw, we've pretty much hit our price target here, right? Because I'm trying to find like the bottom for Chainlink. The next thing I want to look at is this. So if we draw a line from where it is at right now, which is right here, and we draw it across. First thing, support. So we've actually had a few support lines here, right? 1 wick, this on the 4 hourly. 1 wick, 1 candle. Actually 2 candles. And then now we're just below it, like just on it. So if we get support again, that would be really good, but we could break through. And this line would be not very good. A candle here, candle here, candle. 2 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So here was resistance. 3 times, nearly 4 times resistance. Then we broke through. We got support straight away. More support. So 1, 2. Whoops. 1, 2, 3 lines of support. And then here we've had 2 lines of support here. So this line is acting as pretty decent support for the moment, right? As I said, we're actually slightly below the line, and so we could see a breakthrough about to happen, which would be very bad. We definitely do not want to see that, but this is the first line we're looking at. And from this, you could draw. I was gonna say you can draw that line out. You probably wouldn't. you probably just keep this as one support line here. And then, yeah, if we break through this, then that would not be ideal. And a 20, I just want to like restate that this correction, it is a big correction. 27% correction. That's a big correction for a coin. Especially when Bitcoin hasn't corrected by that much. If we look at the Bitcoin correction here, and we know that like alts will correct more than Bitcoin usually, and it'll pump more than Bitcoin usually as well. But Bitcoin only corrected 14%, right? Bitcoin only went down 14%. But we saw Chainlink has gone down 27, 28%, which is a pretty staggering amount. The next thing I want to look at is this. So we broke out of this ascending channel, which we assumed would eventually happen because it's a bearish pattern, obviously. And if we look at a price target here from that line, we can see we're kind of close to hitting this target as well, right? We're kind of close. We have a target here of $27. It's very similar to our other target that we saw. And so this is another area where we may see support because we've hit our target. So we'll come down and we might see support with this. There's a bit of confluence in the charts. The next thing I want to look at, I took an empty chart, scaled it out. So this is like the whole year and said like, what do I see on the 4-hourly? Well, we're kind of in this ascending wedge, right? There's 3 touch points at the top, actually 4. There's 2 here, 1 there, 1 there, so that's 4. And on the bottom we've got 3, 4. Currently 5 touch points, right? And so we're seeing support currently. At the moment, we wouldn't want to go much lower. Because if we go lower, we break out of this. And we actually break out of most of our support lines, and then we could go significantly lower, right? And $28 is already pretty low. But the other thing to look at is the relative strength index, which is currently at 27, but we went as low as 23. And so if we look at Chainlink and where it's been in the past, we look here, it went out of 21. This is the last time it went below. We had a wick below 30, which was at this point here. But the last time it went down in the 20s, the low 20s was here, right at this level here. And so if we're to draw this out from here to the top, that's what we saw coming off this level. Last time we were in the low 20s on the RSI on the 4-hourly candles, was we saw this play out. And if we move this sideways, well, what do we see? Some sideways movement, which is probably expected. And that'll happen for the next about week. Goes up a little bit, comes down. We see support. We come up, come down again, see more support. And then we start to move up. And if you look at how high we're going, firstly, we're breaking this line. Right, we're breaking this line. We're going to get resistance on this line again. If this were to play out. And obviously, history doesn't just repeat itself. So we're not going to see this play out perfectly. But if we were, we're going to resistance here, come back down. Then we break through and takes us to $44 Chainlink. As of the 5th of Jan. And then we can scale this. So we can say, I don't know, Bitcoin Chainlink goes a bit more parabolic, and before Christmas, we see a $44 Chainlink, or, you know, we can lengthen it out a bit more. We wouldn't ideally do that because that'll affect our support lines here. So we wouldn't say that as much. I think the more likely, if this were to play out somewhat, this seems likely to move sideways a bit. I think we need that. Come off, come back down, get support. I'm fine with that. This support level will be at about $30. And then start to move up. Get resistance. That's about as expected. Come back down, move forward. Right. That's what we're looking at. As I said, this is based off the RSI, which we haven't seen in the low 20s. We haven't seen the low 20s for a long time. This was the last time. In May was the last time we saw it below 24. At 24. And we saw it at 22. Like, I think that was yesterday, day before. Super low. Very low. And after we see this, we see big moves. The other one, it was back here. And if we looked at what happened, 130% move was what happened in 4 days. That's what happened. Now, obviously, I don't think we're going to see that, but I'm saying that there's a chance that with all this support and with the strength index being so low, this could be the bottom for Chainlink, and we might start this move back up. We might continue in this ascending wedge And if we see a breakout of the ascending wedge to the upside, that'd be perfect, because obviously an ascending wedge is a bearish pattern. So to see a breakout of the upside would be very, very bullish with a Chainlink, which I think, as I said, could happen in the next month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on how the market moves. If we look at Bitcoin, which we will, because Bitcoin is very important to indicate how the future of the crypto market's going to go. We see that we're trading at 59,000. It's kind of been consolidating, which I said in the last couple of videos, the past videos, that we should see some consolidation. That'd be the most ideal thing. We wouldn't want to break through out of this line. That'd be terrible. So the consolidation we see is very similar to what we've seen here. As the other thing I've been saying is we have this sort of S pattern, which is forming very, very similar. And we can see that at the bottom of this one, there was consolidation, which we've seen here. And so we could see this play out again, which is why I've drawn these lines so far, because we could see this move just play out again, right? Where are we? This is what I want. And so if we see from here what this move could indicate is something like this. It's the same move. We see that. We get a consolidation, we move up. Then we're in this like sideways moving channel for a bit. Just moving sideways. Then another move up. Get resistance, come down, break through. That would just be like the perfect, right? The perfect scenario, because this is like all-time high levels. So we break the all-time high. We get resistance from this line going across and the all-time high. Come down, then we break through it. And we go for 70k, which will almost a 70k if this were to play out. Like here. As I'm saying, like you can't just draw this line and say, okay, well, this is what's going to happen, right? Because history doesn't repeat itself. We could see Bitcoin go lower. We definitely could. I said in the last video, we could see it go considerably low, especially if we draw something like this, right? This is the other thing. We could draw this line. There's 2 touch points here. I might just make that clear. 1, 2 touch points. Obviously, we start here. And Bitcoin, we could see Bitcoin move down. There's a lot going on in this graph. We could see Bitcoin come down and hit a line about here. It's about 53,000. 53,000 and then bounce off. Which would show, if this were to play out, it would show that the market is healthy. Because corrections have to happen. And so it might show that Bitcoin, you know what? Bitcoin was a little overpriced. We're moving too quick. We hadn't seen a big correction. And so coming down to this level and testing this. And this will be similar level to our bull market support bands as well. And so if that were to happen, we could see strong support if we were to bounce off, and then show a lot of healthiness in the market and prove that the next few months are going to be very solid. I think a lot of people were just expecting November just to be a bull month, all right? We're going to just pump to 100k, which when you expect something like that to happen, usually it's not going to happen because, well, be fearful when others greedy, I guess, is the motto. Last thing I might look at is the Ethereum chart. It's very important. I'm saying another potential probability is that we could see Ethereum come down a little more, test this line at $4,000, which is our cup and handle line, and then get support of that and move forward. Which would mean Bitcoin would probably come down to about 58,000, maybe 57,000. Ethereum came within $100 of this line as well already. So we could see Bitcoin come down to $58,000, which means Ethereum would come down to maybe this level, get support, and then start to move back up. That's another thing that could play out. And always, I say this is important because Bitcoin's going to move the market, so is Ethereum. They're both. You know, Bitcoin does well, altcoins tend to do well, Ethereum tends to do well. So that's the other thing we're looking at. And yeah, there's this line here. Obviously, I think this line is very important for Chainlink. This is the line to hold because it's on a large time frame. So as I said, there's 4 touch points. We want this line to hold. We haven't actually hit it yet. We're very close. So there's a little room to grow. Not to grow, to actually go down. There's a little room for error right here. And the problem is there's no room here. This line is here. We're right on the line right now. So the next 24 hours is going to be important to see if we hold this line. Anyways, I might wrap the video up there. I'll keep you updated on how Chainlink performs if we hold these two lines. If it does, if we see a bounce off this, I'll definitely do an update video ASAP. If we break through to the downside, I'll probably do another ASAP video saying that Chainlink's, you know, going to the ground, it seems. I don't know. We'll see what happens if it goes to the downside, where I think it might go. As I said, I think $28 is pretty underpriced, and we can see that very clearly in the RSI. Like, it's at a very low level. So, especially when you compare it to other altcoins, like Polkadot's still at $40, which Polkadot at $40 is really nice. That's a good figure in my opinion. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. Let me know what you think Chainlink's gonna do. Please like the video, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, share it with everyone. Would much appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.